What's going on, people, and welcome to episode number 7 of Getting to Know TheShwantz27. That would be me. This is a series that is not so much about the gameplay, but rather about me answering those personal MySpace bulletin or Facebook note surveys in funny and humorous ways. I'll also tell some stories, and you'll get to know a little bit about myself. And for some of the influx of new subscribers that I've had, this is an awesome opportunity to get to know me. Now, I also want to do like a Q&A type thing for a future episode of the series. So if you have any questions, you could tweet them out to me at TheShwantz27. Link is in the description, or you can leave them down here in the comments section. The gameplay in the background is a demolition match on the map Raid. It's my highest kill game to date. Unfortunately, it's in combat training. I go 89 and 32, and watch this. Host migration. Are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck backs out of fucking combat training? I mean, come on. The game just fucking started. That's my first kill there, and the guy already leaves. Anyways, let's get this shit started. Am I the type of person that has a new boyfriend/girlfriend every week? No, I have only 2 hands, so that's impossible. I need to keep the pimp hand strong, if you know what I mean. Do I have any siblings? I have an older half-sister, and I have a younger brother. And there's a McDouble. Put that shit on the grill. I do tend to abuse my younger brother sometimes, but he was my best man at my wedding, so it's all in love, baby. Have I ever fallen asleep on someone? No, I'd probably crush them underneath my weight. Have I ever faked being sick? Of course I have faked being sick. All the time in high school when I was late or procrastinating on like a big project or a term paper, I'd not go to school the day before and get it done that day while I was staying home from school. I mean, it's a bad precedent to fucking set, but when you're a fucking teenager, there's more important shit going on than term papers. Have I ever tried drugs? Well, I've tried marijuana, which, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really consider it a drug. I don't think it should be illegal, but that's another topic for another day. I have tried marijuana, and I'm not a fan. I don't really like the smoking aspect of it. I like the way it smells, but I've also never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I just don't like the way the smoke feels when it hits your throat. And I haven't tried any harder drugs, because I got a few stories about some harder drugs that I'd like to tell you. So, one of my, well, I guess they weren't really a friend of mine, but they were a friend of mine at a party, tried acid. And while she was tripping out on acid, she thought that rats were eating at her eyes. So she proceeded to poke out her fucking eyes with a pen. And one of them is, she's blind in one eye, and in the other one, it's all fucked up. Like, it's all like, her pupil is like bleeding out into the color of her eye. So that shit's fucking crazy. And I didn't see it happen live, but I was there obviously at the party, and the ambulance came through. So I saw the aftermath of what happened. And another story I want to tell you is one of my buddies, well, again, not really a friend, but somebody at this party that I went to. And by the way, all of these parties were either at my house, which none of the drug parties were, or at this other person's house. So basically what happened is this person tried mushrooms, and they thought that they could fly. So they got up on top of the fucking roof and proceeded to literally jump off the roof. Thank God they landed in the fucking pool, or else they would have been dead. It was a fucking 2-story house. And jumping off a 2-story house when you're on mushrooms and have no idea what your bodily functions are doing, that shit would have been bad. So he ends up jumping in the pool. It was the winter time, so the pool was fucking freezing cold. But nonetheless, they weren't hurt that badly. So that's why I don't do fucking drugs. I've witnessed some crazy shit in my life. Next question, what is my blood type? It is A positive, just like my grades. Have I ever been in a car accident? I've been in a few car accidents. One time I was driving down the road, and it was a 1-lane road, and the person in front of me veers off towards the middle as if they were making a left-hand turn, but it turns out that they were just making a wide right turn, and I went to go past them on the right, and I got fucking blindsided. Shit pissed me off. And then another time, I was leading a friend home from like a happy hour, and we were in a turning lane. So I had to make a left, get in the turning lane, and she ended up smashing me from behind, just like a porno star. And she ended up rear-ending me, and I hit into the car in front of me. And the worst part about it was that she said that she didn't have enough time to react because she was following me and didn't realize that I was in the other lane and tried to move over quickly. But then what tipped me off to something suspicious is that she said that she couldn't find her cell phone, and that her cell phone ended up being all the way down by the gas and brake pedals. So I figure the only way that that happened is if either she was texting while she was driving or if she was on the phone while she was driving. Both of which are illegal in New York State. So don't fucking text or call and drive, you fucking douche canoes. How old was I when I received my first kiss? I think I was like 12 or 13. I don't even really remember. Who was my first kiss? Well, again, I don't really even I don't remember the girl's name, which is kind of sad, right? I mean, it's your first kiss. You should probably remember everything about it, but I just remember it being extremely fucking weird. Like, the notion of, like, tongues and shit was just, like, it was fucking weird to me at the time. And I don't remember who the girl was, because this is what happened. I wanted to date this other girl, and here's another host migration. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's fucking combat training, people. Anyway, so here's the story. I really wanted to go out with this other girl, and I tried to, you know, be nice with her and her friends to try and get with her. But then one of her friends ended up liking me, and I didn't really like her back that much, but I figured, hey, what the hell, you know, she's nice, she's cool, might as well date her. And I ended up making out with her, and then we talked on the phone for like a week, and then I was like, you know, this isn't going to work because we're from different towns, and I was like 13 years old and didn't have a car and shit. Alright, next question. What is my perfect pizza? My favorite pizza is either white pizza or sausage and peppers pizza. Those are my two favorite types of pizza. Have I ever seen a dead body? Yeah, I've seen a dead body at a funeral, but never like a fresh one, like on the side of the road or some shit. And let's talk about the gameplay just for a second. This is the end of the first round, and I'm 44-9 already. Jesus Christ. Next question. Do I have a celebrity crush? Not really. I have some porno star crushes. Tiana Lynn is like my favorite porn star of all time. Go look her up. I'm not going to link any pictures or anything. Fuck it. I'll throw a picture in here. I'm not going to fucking show you any scenes of any of her movies because YouTube would definitely fucking block me from uploading that shit. Next question. What is one thing scientists should invent? I think scientists should invent a way to accumulate knowledge, like in the background of your brain, like in your subconscious, because you know you only use, I think, like 10 or like 15% of your brain or some shit. Why not utilize some of the other parts of the brain to, like, quote-unquote, download knowledge into while you're doing other shit? You know, while you're sleeping at night, why not hook up yourself to a fucking USB port and have yourself memorize like encyclopedias and shit? Maybe this way people wouldn't be so fucking stupid. As you see there, that was fucking stupid. I just C4'd my motherfucking self. Next question. Have I ever broken a bone? Yes, I have. I've broken my pinky bone. And before you say, you fucking pussy, it's just a fucking pinky. Well, hear me out. I used to play baseball in high school, and I was actually really good at it. I was on an all-Long Island team, the Long Island Mariners, and one time at practice, we were stretching, and I had my hand behind me while I was doing a stretch, and this guy who was doing sprints accidentally stepped on my pinky with his metal cleat. And I went down and I looked at my pinky, gigantic fucking gash, blood fucking everywhere. You could even see like the bone in the pinky. That's how fucked up my finger was. The guy who ran over my finger took one look at it and just immediately fucking threw up on the ground because of how disgusting he was. I ran over and I was like, Coach, I think I got a problem. So he called up an ambulance and I went to the hospital, and it turns out that I had broken my pinky knuckle in half. Now, it doesn't sound too painful, and to be honest with you, I don't even think it was. It was more just a fucking pain in the ass that I couldn't play baseball for 2 weeks. Alright, next question. What happens after you die? Oh boy, this one is going to get me some flack. I don't believe that anything happens to you after you die. I believe you just feed the fucking plants. If somebody will, take me on a journey and let me know from the other side what exactly happens to you, then maybe I'll believe them. But right now, I'm more of a proponent of logic, so I don't think that fucking anything happens to you when you die. Next question. What stereotype would you label yourself as being? I would label myself as being a nerdy jock. Like I said, I played lots of sports when I was in high school, but now I'm just a nerd playing fucking video games and being a computer programmer, so I'm a little bit of both. Alright, next. Have I ever gone skinny dipping? Of course I have. But the best part is going skinny dipping in other people's pools. We used to jump over yards when we were younger and just go skinny dipping in other people's pools real late at night. It was fucking hilarious, and we'd see to not try and get caught. Have I ever played strip poker? Nah, kind of, but I played this one game, it's not really a drinking game, although we only played it when we were drinking. It was called Strip If It's Black. So what you would do is, every time a black card would come out, the next person in the circle would strip. And if the card is red, then it would fucking reverse directions. So it would kind of like fuck one or two people over, if you know what I'm talking about. But if you get on a string of black cards, then it would be fucking hilarious. Sometimes we'd switch it up to be like, if it's red, then you point to another person in the circle and they get the next card that comes out. What's the biggest argument I've ever gotten into? I got into an argument with my dad one time over sounds like it's kind of stupid, but it's really not. My dad was getting on my case about the phone bill, because if you don't know, I used to live on Long Island, and back when I was a teenager, Nassau and Suffolk County, which are two of the counties on Long Island, they both only had one area code. And then they decided that there was too many people, so they split it up into 516 for Nassau and 631 for Suffolk. Well, I had this girl that I used to talk to in Nassau County, and I used to ring up gigantic fucking phone bills because it would consider 516 long distance. And my dad would get on my case, and he even grounded me one or two times for not holding back on calling this person. I'm like, well, this person's my friend, I need to maintain a relationship with them. Now, fast forward another 2 years, my brother goes online, because at this point, online was just starting up. He would go into online chat rooms and meet girls from, like, out of state and fucking call them. And my dad never, ever fucking bitched at him for that. And I got fucking pissed off, because there was this one time where he even drove my brother into New Jersey to go meet this girl that he met online. And that was the fucking last straw for me. I called his fucking bluff. I'm like, listen, this is bullshit. If you're gonna ground me and fucking punish me for calling somebody long distance who lives 15 minutes down the road in Nassau County, why the fuck are you letting my brother go and fucking meet girls from out of state that he's never even met before? Meanwhile, this person is my friend, and I hung out with them a bunch of times, and he just, I don't know what the answer was, but whatever it was, it teed me off, and it set me off. And at the time, I had a girlfriend who lived on the other side of town, so what I did was, McDouble, put that shit on the grill. Sorry, I had to do that. Basically, what I did was I drove over towards her to her house, and I slept in my car outside of her house. Now, her house was in like a pretty nice, rich area, and I guess somebody called the cops because they saw this guy sleeping in a fucking car outside this person's house. And I got woken up at like 3 in the morning to a flashlight shining in my face and a knock on my window. And he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you here?" And I explained to him the whole story. And I'm like, "Listen, this person that lives across the street's my girlfriend. I know this person. I'm just sleeping in the car. Got into an argument at my parents' house, and I got nowhere to go." And he's like, "Listen, I understand what you're saying, and you ain't got to go home, but you can't fucking stay here." So I had to make like Tigger and bounce out of there. But that was definitely the biggest fight I ever got into with my dad. I don't think I talked to him for a few days after that. Have I ever been bitten by somebody? Yeah, in college, I hooked up with this girl who was a biter. It fucking sucked. Why the fuck are you gonna bite my pelvis, bitch? Stay the fuck away from me, you goddamn vampire. Have I ever stolen anything? Yeah, all of my subscribers' innocence. What is the most I've ever eaten in one sitting? Well, I told the story a few episodes ago about the time that I did that food eating challenge with the 30-inch Meat Lovers pizza. If you missed it, I'll link the annotation on the screen, and I'll tell you exactly what time it is at in the annotation. I'll link it to that exact story. But I've eaten more than that in one sitting. Me and my buddies used to go gambling at Foxwoods, which is a casino in Connecticut. So what I did was we went to the buffet right before the bus was supposed to leave, and I ended up eating 6 plates of buffet with 1 plate of salad and one plate of dessert. And to top it all off, not that 7 or 8 plates of food wasn't enough. The guy was like, listen, the bus is about to leave. You need to get your shit and go. As you see here, we're heading into overtime in this match. So in overtime and demolition, what I like to do is just rush the bomb. Usually the first team that plants the bomb in overtime wins. Anyway, back to the story. So the bus is about to leave, and because of the fat ass that I am, I go over to the fucking the soft ice cream machine, grab a fucking cone, and eat that shit on the way out to the bus. Are you kidding me? On the bus ride home, I felt like I was going to have a fucking 700-pound baby. I was sweating profusely because my body was using so much energy to digest all the fucking food that I had just eaten. Fucking great. Have I ever mooned or flashed somebody? Well, back when I was a teenager, we used to get in cars and drive down like busy streets and just randomly moon people out the car. So I'd be the passenger and I'd pull down the pants and moon somebody. It was hilarious. We'd get honked at, we'd get yelled at, we'd get thumbs up. This was before the day and age of cell phone pictures, so no crazy shit was coming out of it. And flashing somebody, I've gone streaking a few times, a couple of times of my own accord. But one time, I was playing beer pong one-on-one against my buddy, and I was just fucking drunk as shit. And the rule at my house was, if you get shut out playing beer pong, then you have to go streak. So what I did was, I stripped down into my boxers, of course, and I had to go across the lawn of the dormitory building that I was in and just touch the other side. And there you see the bomb blows up, and I end up going 89 and 32 in this game. Fucking ridiculous amount of kills. Anyway, to finish up this story, there was a cab ended up dropping off people that came home from the bar. So there was a bunch of people that saw me streaking across the field. Not fucking funny. Anyway, leave me your questions for a Q&A session down in the comment section. Thank you for watching this entire fucking long-ass video. I've been TheShwantz27, and I'm out. Peace, bitches.